and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson, joined as always by Johnny Paulus. I'm going to give Kim a minute here. Johnny Paulus. Johnny, welcome in, sir. How are you doing?
Oh, what's up?
I see you did not succumb to the stomach plague.
No.
For those wondering, we had to take a week because most of the band was sick.
Yeah.
So no more tum-tum issues.
No, I just had like a 1 or 2 day thing. It wasn't really all that bad. I mean, in fact, I only really missed a half day of work. But what was weird is, I mean, it hit me like a fucking wave. Like I woke up and was fine and went to work and was all good. And like right before lunch, sometimes you get that bug and it's just like, and you're like, oh no. And I was like, I'm going home. I don't know what's going on, but my body is like, get your ass to bed now.
You know exactly what's going on. You got down with Papa John the night before.
It's okay. I got the Papa John's card. It's fine.
You paid.
I hate you both.
Your mouth wrote a check that your ass couldn't cash, my brother.
Dude, I haven't eaten Papa John's pizza in fucking 20 years.
I've had it once in my life.
I mean, it wasn't good when I had it, so I haven't.
I remember thinking like it was the pinnacle of pizza when I was a child, because like the commercials where he's like, better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's, and he wasn't, he was still like a closet phobe at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I got older and wiser and realized that is literally a slice of Wonder Bread with cheese melted on it.
I grew up in New York and New Jersey, and not once did I ever think Papa John's was decent.
Understandable. It's like for me and Johnny, like when we have, anyone from the Midwest talking to us about how they love crab cakes, and we both know what they're actually talking about.
I've had Maryland crab cakes.
Yeah, East Coasters typically know.
Yeah,
but you Midwesterners that think that flat crustacean cake is acceptable. No, sir.
I mean, I had somebody I was talking about Mexican food and how sometimes I crave Taco Bell, but it's right in the same parking lot as my favorite Mexican spot. Yeah. And I had somebody on stream in my chat say, if you want good Mexican food, you need to come to where I am. We have great Mexican food here. And I was like,
you literally live in Mexico.
I was like, where do you live? And they were in like, I don't know, Minnesota or something. And I was like, you have to understand. I opened my front door and I'm looking at Mexico. I live in Little Mexico. I am not going to Minnesota for Mexican food.
Yeah, you're in fucking Taco Town. Like, other than Los Angeles, like Texas is where you want to be for tacos. Well, in America, at least.
More specifically,
in El Paso.
Right, where you could throw a rock and hit Juarez.
I literally can. All of our restaurants here are owned by people who come across the border to open them.
Got it.
So it's literally Mexican food. It's not, I mean, we do have Tex-Mex places here, but it's not like Central Texas where there's a lot of Tex-Mex. It's quite literally Mexican food from people who live in Juarez.
And not to mention, the name of the city is El Paso.
El Paso. The Pass.
Yeah, it's like, where is your Minnesotan friend getting tacos from? El Bullwinkles?
Yeah. Oh, Bullwinkles.
They were like, well, you said you like Taco Bell. And I'm like, I never said I like Taco Bell when I want Mexican food. Taco Bell's not Mexican food.
We don't have carnitas. We have moose and squirrel.
Okay, we totally, this is not our normal beginning.
This is fine. Kim?
We always freestyle at the beginning.
Papa John's card.
Kim, welcome in.
Hi.
You are not banned from here, but you are banned other places.
I am not banned. I am suspended for 7 days from TikTok Live. I attribute it to the fact that my streams are completely and utterly unhinged, and I repeated stuff. I mean, nothing bad, though. I have a big gay community because I am bisexual. I have a lot of gay members of the community. I have a lot of trans members in the community. We are very much a gay community. And I don't know if it was somebody watching me on TikTok who heard me say to one of my gay community members that they were gay but still a guy. And next thing you know, I looked over, everybody in chat was like, your TikTok is down. I was like, oh, my TikTok is suspended. Okay. It's fine. I'll just do knitting on there next time.
something safe. And yeah, you better just knit with white thread, because
I'm definitely not going to talk about Papa John's.
Definitely.
That's a fact.
Maybe you should knit a Papa John's pizza. It would probably taste better.
You win them back
Probably.
too. You could win back
would.
that
I
huge
might.
Papa John's vote.
I might.
Where are we? What? And also, hi.
Hi.
I'm doing
hi, everybody.
well.
We're back.
Hi, Mike.
Mike.
Things are good. Things are picking up at the new job. But I'm settling in, and like every week by week, I'm getting back my playing schedule back in order. So life is coming together. The week off is screwed with me. What episode is this? 147. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to episode 147 of your Power Gamer podcast. We do ask, wherever you're watching us, give us a little bit of that free support magic that you have up your sleeve. Now, you might not know this, but you have a power, and it's completely free for you to use. It takes perhaps a half calorie of effort to take your thumb and press the like button, or subscribe if you're checking us out on YouTube. Surprisingly, the thing that takes much more effort, many more of you do, which is leave us kind reviews where you listen to our show in audio format. So over on Spotify and Apple, we do appreciate and see your 5-star reviews. Keep it up. It does wonders for the show.
Pump that algorithm, baby.
With it being, I guess, a full 2 weeks, we gotta get back to basics here this week. Let's start off by talking about what we've been playing. I'm going to shake things up a little bit, and I'm gonna go first this week.
Do it.
It's that Papa John's power.
It is. It is. I am turbocharged from garlic butter.
I'm so glad our viewers have no idea what an absolute idiot I am, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I love Final Fantasy. I am very excited for Final Fantasy Rebirth. But I was realizing that it had been probably 20 years since I had last played the OG Final Fantasy VII. So I have been playing Final Fantasy VII, and I'm not playing it on my old hardware. I'm playing the version that I guess was set loose in the PS3 or PS4 era, which is great because you can set it to 3 times speed, because the combat sequences in that game are horrendously slow. And yeah, it just makes playing through it such a breeze. So I've only been at it for 3 hours, and I'm already at the Shinra building, which is bananas. So,
wow.
And I'm at the top of the Shinra building. I've made it to the 65th, 67th, I forget, floor. So I'm there. Man, it's such a joy to play this game again. And I have, unlike you, Johnny, Kim, I don't know that you've touched these yet, but I haven't touched.
I played up until Final Fantasy IX, and then I never touched another one. But I can't remember any of them because, I have no memory. But
I haven't played the 7 remakes at all. So I wanted to make sure that I was fresh on the original. I mean, 20 years, long time, easy to forget some things.
Yep.
So I just wanted to make sure I was fresh on everything before jumping into it and jumping into Rebirth. So Final Fantasy VII is underway. Now, I completed a big boy game to start off this year, I guess.
That is a big boy game.
Yeah.
Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, I have finished. And I must tell you, I really like this game. I think I like this game as much or better than any Far Cry game I've played. And it definitely wears its Far Cry influence on its sleeve. The most recent, I thought, was the best, and perhaps 5 right behind it. But Avatar Frontiers of Pandora does a really good job of not only just being a licensed game, but starting the story in a way that makes sense, where it's not just a retelling of a movie, and continuously upping the stakes with the story throughout the entire campaign experience, which, if you wander off the path and take in some sights, it's going to take you around 30 hours to complete this game. The platinum trophy, if you're into those kind of things, is going to take you a long fucking time because it's a Ubisoft game. I was glad to remind myself that I don't actually try to go for those and moved on. But Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, very well paced game, incredible story, does everything that it should with the story and then some, and doesn't overstay its welcome, and totally sticks the landing. I think the combat in this game is fantastic. Probably an area I'm having more experience with than, say, Johnny, I know you're playing this game as well. Is I think the stealth in the game is fantastic. It works really well. It kind of took me a moment to kind of get back my Ubisoft Far Cry stealth system bearings, but once I did, that was great. But everything in the game just feels ultra tight, not a lot of bugs or glitches, and the story is great. And I think 30 hours for a gigantic open world game like that means it's paced perfectly, just moving along, not overstaying its welcome.
Yeah.
A la Valhalla, which is 3 times the length and time to complete. So I've got to say this game's a strong recommend. It's kind of unfortunate that it came out at the dead end of last year, because that's the easiest recipe for good games to get forgotten, is if you're the last one out in a year. It's already after the Game Awards and everything have already happened. It's a surefire way to get missed by everyone. And I really think that's happening with Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. That being said, it is selling well. I saw it charting in the top 10 on PlayStation, so
good.
It's not failing. It's just not getting a lot of attention. So
yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything here. We've got Johnny still playing it. Kim, I think you want to check this out at some point. So
yes,
I'm just going to leave it at Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is completely worth the point of entry. You can get a lot more out of 30 hours out of it if you want to. You're going to be entertained the entire time. You're not going to have a buggy experience if you're out playing on console. I can't speak to PC. And the game is just incredibly solid. So it's on par with Far Cry 6, which means it too is an 8.5 out of 10.
I would like to chime in on the Avatar thing, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
So I have officially made the decision that I'm going to play this game on PC. And the problem is not I can't play first person shooters with a controller. It's that if I'm playing a first person shooter where I have a bow and arrow and I got a tiny little dot and a tiny little target and I have to get him with the thumbstick, it's gonna fuck me up. Whereas if I'm mouse and keyboard, I'm gonna be popping off headshots the whole time. So I finally made the decision. I signed up for the Ubisoft Connect and I paid the money, and so it's now installed on PC. But the thing I really am enjoying about the game is the amount of lore that they've added and all these different tribes, and like there's the tribe that's out in the plains, and the thing I liked about that tribe is that they travel with the migration of these like gigantic, almost like elephant like creatures, and they just when those creatures get up and go, all right, we're fucking headed that way, the whole tribe travels with them, and it's really cool. I love the whole lore of the Na'vi has always really been awesome to me, and I think they did a good job of sort of respecting that and keeping it going. I'm sure James Cameron played a big part in at least some of the lore with the different tribes and how they work and all that.
Yeah, it really is well done. I can't wait for you to kind of get to the next leg of the game.
Yeah.
Because a lot happens after you finish Area 2.
Okay.
We'll call it. And some of the things that happen, I feel like we've all played games like where there's a moment in the game and the whole world is reshaped.
Yeah.
There's something to that magnitude. It can't be any more specific than that because it's unique in what takes place.
Awesome.
So it's going to be a nice surprise for you guys when you get to that point in the game. Cool. Johnny, anything else on Avatar, or are we good to move on?
Nope.
Kim, let's start with you And your
so many games.
And your list of stuff.
So many games. So still playing Flipwitch, obviously, and I found I finally got a quest done, and out of that quest came a spirit with gigantic knockers. Warframe, I'm back into Warframe again. Yeah, what?
We can't bounce that quick from Flipwitch. I just wanted to say, I haven't been able to watch this week's episode yet. There's this conundrum. So, well, first off, what I'm talking about, for those that don't know, is Kim has a wonderful channel over on Ko-fi. Is it just Mickey Ran over there as well? Mikiran?
Yep.
Highly recommend you go check that out and watch her Flipwitch playthrough, as well as some wonderful book readings. But yeah, with me being back in an office, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't watch Flipwitch while I work like I used to.
No.
Because I can handle that and not be distracted at all. But, most of my joy from the moments of goblin fucking or giant boobs is just watching how horribly distracted Kim gets by it. So definitely go check that out.
It's fun. I am surprised it's actually a good game. It's fun to play. It really is.
All right, sorry. Just
it's okay.
Had to interject.
I got back into Warframe. I had been out of the loop for a long time, and I was intimidated to go back. When I was introduced to Warframe, I was introduced to it in a pretty crappy way. Like, the person just kind of like pulled me through, and I didn't understand anything and didn't know what I was doing. And I met somebody, one of my community members works for Digital Extremes. He does QA, and he encouraged me to get back into it. And so I did. And now I stream Warframe every Wednesday. I'm going through the whole quest line. And it has been so nice, because that game is just, especially for the age, that game is so beautiful and so smooth and so fun. It's just, and yeah, there's a lot of farming in it, but you know what? There's also a lot of things to farm for. So I look at it like, if I get sick of farming for one thing, I go like do something else. And it's just such a beautiful game, and it's fun to be back into it again.
That game has had all the success that it's had and the lifespan that it's had, while basically being concurrent to Destiny's entire existence, is what I've always found most impressive with it. Because it came out around the same time, and what was that, 2014?
Destiny came out in 2015, and Warframe came out in 2013.
Yeah. So it's been there. And used to, they had those ads where it was like, ninjas play free. Really corny, but they've
super corny. But the game is so good. It really is, and it's good to be back to it. And the community is like one of the best gaming communities I've ever come across. They're amazing. It's really nice. I played a builder game called Bulwark, Falconeer Chronicles. It's developed by Thomas Sala. It's an indie game published by Wired Productions. Full disclosure, I got the game for free. I am a Wired Productions creator. And it was very different, really pretty. I don't know that it's my style of game, but if you like builders, it might be something you want to check out. You basically drive this like dirigible around, and you build up these like, what?
You drive the dirigible around. I love that word.
Blimp.
The dirigible.
You drive the blimp. You drive this like dirigible around, and you like build up these like command posts, and you put commanders there, and they like, there's like trade and stuff like that. It was a pretty cool game. I recommend you check it out. I don't remember when it comes out. I don't know that it's out yet. Wait, I have it up on Steam. It comes out on March 26th.
And what's the name of it one more time for?
Bulwark, Bulwark, and then it's : Falconeer Chronicles.
Got it.
Yeah. It comes out March 26th. Let's see. I'm playing Prince of Persia Lost Crown still. I want to put more time into it, but I've been so bogged down with games that I'm covering and stuff. But the time I've spent in it has been so goddamn fun. Like, so fun and so reminiscent and so beautiful. And when I'm dying to the freaking trap spinning, I'm like, wow, this is amazing, because this like brought me back to Prince of Persia, and it's been so much fun, and I'm honestly enjoying it so much, and I'm excited to see what Johnny has to say about it, because I know you're playing through it too.
Yep.
Highly recommend it.
The game is
I
fully out now at this point too.
yes, yeah, yep,
The only thing that
absolutely astounding game.
maybe slowed me down on a little bit. Now I don't have the Ubisoft passes, but I am a little slowed down by the $50 price point. I don't know if that's warranted or not, but just kind of.
I mean,
I'm
gonna be really honest. I can't even sit here and say whether it is or not because I got the game through Ubisoft as a creator, so I can't even sit here and be like it's worth it because I didn't pay for it. But if I weren't given the game and I got to play the demo, I would buy it. I will tell you that. But I'm also a little bit biased because I'm a huge Prince of Persia fan. And I love Metroidvanias. So I'm a little bit biased, but if you're into both of those things, I would say $50 is worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm extremely biased towards Metroidvanias. It's just, I feel like at $50, that means I'm going to play Blasphemous 2 first.
Metroid
before
Dread
I get to it.
60.
Yeah, but I feel like Metroid can command that because it's Metroid and it's Nintendo. You're not getting anywhere with pricing on Nintendo. But Ubisoft typically, I mean, their games go on sale really fast after they come out.
Very true.
Yeah, yeah, true.
So I'm just scared if I bite the bullet on this one at $50 that, 3 weeks from now I'm going to see it for like, it's on sale now for $29.99, and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, it will end up going on sale.
I guess keep me posted as you guys progress through it and get the bigger picture. And, maybe if you complete it and can see how long it took, I think that'll go a long way in describing.
I can't go by that.
I don't know if this helps your decision or not. I didn't know this, and it did help my decision. If you pay for the Ubisoft subscription, you not only get the games on PC, you also get them on Xbox. You actually link your accounts, and you can now console and PC play all. And that's, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm probably going to play through the games that I really want to play in the next 3 months and then cancel, and I'll turn it back on in 3 months. I think this is going to be a on again, off again subscription service, which is Paramount Plus or Disney Plus. There's a few of those services where it's I look at the calendar and I go, I don't need to pay this month.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be me with Ubisoft. But the fact that that library links on PC and Xbox is pretty cool. So
that's really nice. That's nice. I'm playing Fractured But Whole, South Park game, Fractured But Whole.
It's the best title ever.
Firing through the series.
I literally, every single time I'm playing, I'm like, how do they get away with this? It is absolutely hysterical, and I'm loving every second of it. At the same time, I go through and I get my clips afterward, and I'm formatting them into reels, and I'm like, do I post this? Do I not post this? Yes, I post this. I have to post this. And I've discovered something. Interesting. Instagram viewers are degenerates, and TikTok viewers not so much. When I tell you, the views and the comments on Instagram are way above the views and comments on TikTok, because I think Instagram has a little bit of an older crowd at this point, and so more of them kind of know South Park. And when I tell you, it's been a lot of fun going through, and even YouTube, I get great comments on YouTube as well. The game is completely out of control, and I'm having so much fun. Those games are better than they have a right to be. I'm shocked at how good those games are. I love it. I'm in love with it.
Yeah,
I hate myself for it.
I'm really curious to see how Snow Day is going to be.
Yeah.
Because time and place, it feels like you can't get away with as much today, but I really want someone just to go for it. And I feel like South Park is.
They will, and they do it in the right way, because it's like for example, the clip I posted, the one I scheduled for tomorrow, it's about microaggression and backhanded compliments. And it's literally showing look, somebody who uses backhanded compliments is a fucking asshole. Feel free to beat him up. And so it's hysterical, because it's not that it's condoning that type of behavior. Everybody knows Cartman is an asshole. You know what I mean? Cartman's who you don't want to be in life. And so it's I think that's why they get away with it. Same reason why Always Sunny gets away with it, because it's literally making fun of the people like that, which is amazing. And it's so far ahead of its time. In Fractured But Whole, you can be non-binary. My character is a transgender female, but if I wanted to, I could have been non-binary. And it's amazing. And you get to beat up rednecks who try and make fun of you for it.
Well,
and it's like amazing. It's so far ahead of its time.
Well, that's exactly what I think I was about to say, is that game came out kind of before all of that was a thing.
Yeah.
Before it was cool, so to speak.
It's so far ahead of its time, and I am really amazed by it, and I'm loving it. And it's something I wasn't expecting, and I'm really enjoying it.
Awesome.
I completed Alan Wake 2. I loved every second of it. I love that game so much, and it deserved every award that it got. And God, it was such a good game. My only complaint was that I feel like Alan Wake 2 should have been played. It should be played the first time in story mode. That's how I feel. That's the right way to play it, because it's you just flow. But I finished it, and I'm happy with it, and I love it, and it's glorious.
Yeah, there definitely seemed to be some. I don't know if balance issue is the right way to present this, but I'll always think back to the section where I unfortunately just had to watch you kind of bash your head into a wall for a couple hours because you got locked into an instance. Very Metro 2033, Johnny.
Yeah.
Where you just couldn't progress because you're so fucked.
Yeah.
Which I always hate it. I always hate when that stuff happens. But
so it's the difference between story mode, where the enemies are a little bit easier to kill and you're getting more items, and normal mode, where the enemies are way harder and you're getting so many less items. I mean, like hardly anything. And I'm like, wow, there's like that gap is humongous. And so story mode, in my opinion, is the way to go for the first playthrough. And I really loved it, and I love the ending. And that game was absolutely amazing. And I'm really fingers crossed for a new one. I honestly am. I am really stoked. If they're going to have a new one, it would make me very, very happy. Yeah.
It's so weird that it has those spots that you can get stuck, because one of their first games, Max Payne, was one of the first games that I'm aware of they had a feature built into the game where if you got stuck on a checkpoint, it would intentionally make that checkpoint easier and easier and easier every attempt. So you'd notice, like, after you died like 5 times, you'd reload and you'd be like, oh shit, I got like 30 more bullets than I had. And
yeah.
Go back in, and then you die again, and you'd be like, and it would keep it, and it did that so that you could flow. If you got to a really hard part, you might die 4, 5, 6 times, but like you would get through it. It would never be that brick wall that you just can't get through. And it's crazy that now here we are, like, 20 years later, and they got brick walls in their game. But
yeah, and it's crazy because even Control, if you died, you came back with full health.
Right.
And in Alan Wake 2, you do not.
Right.
If you die with a sliver of health, you come back with a sliver of health. And if you didn't have any items, you don't have any items. And so that was, I'm happy I went down the story mode. Mike he made me feel better about going down the story mode. And I genuinely feel it's the way to play it the first time around, because it just lets you kind of get through the story, and like, oh, so cool. Really cool game.
I don't have time to have my ass being kicked all over the place by a
I spent an hour trying to get through that part. 1 hour, and then I finally had to reload. I was like done with it. Yeah. I'm playing the controversial popular game right now, everybody. I'm playing Palworld. I have a dedicated server for my community, and it is glorious, ridiculous fun. It's so goddamn buggy though. You try and catch something, and sometimes it just like all of a sudden it's not on your screen anymore. But it's also because I have a dedicated server. I hear single player is way more smooth. Like, I don't want to play this single player. I want to like go with all my friends and like, use my little lift monk to become a machine gun sitting on my shoulders. I don't want to, like, you know what I mean? So
I'm sorry, a lift monk?
Lift monk.
Lift monk.
It's green. So it's like leaf monk, but LIF, lift monk. and if you give it a machine gun, you use their ability, and their ability, it makes it sit on your shoulder, and it's like, and it literally mows down everything in front of you. Pretty amazing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's Palworld has been a lot of fun, and it's ridiculous, and I'm having a good time with it.
Yeah, you'll have to be our resident Palworld pal, because I hate survival games. I don't know if I've shared that
love
before.
survival games. I have so many hours in Ark and Green Hell. Green Hell is the hardest survival game you will ever play in your life. I have so many hours in them because I love survival games. And so I was like, survival game where I can also capture these things and breed them and like have them work on my ranch, and I'm in. So yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. And I will be the Palworld pal.
Yeah,
I saw it was on Game Pass. I was like, all right, let me see what all the hype's about.
No,
and I download it and I install it and I fire it up, and it's like, go get some wood, go get some rocks, and I'm like, God damn it.
So I
had no idea it was fucking Ark with Pokemon.
It's survival.
It's totally
and
what
the
it
biggest
is.
problem with it right now is that the Game Pass version and the Xbox version are so far behind the Steam version. So far behind because every update Microsoft has to approve. Microsoft is taking forever to approve their updates. So they're literally versions behind. So when I went to go play the first time, I downloaded on Game Pass, and I'm like, I can't name my character. There's no exit button. Everything was like missing. And so my partner was like, wait, what do you mean? So we screen shared, and he's like, wait a minute, your game is way different. Sure enough, it was like versions behind. So the Game Pass, if you're going to get Palworld, just get it on. If you have access to a PC, get it on Steam. If you're that interested in it.
What's the price on it?
I think it's like $30 or something.
Yeah, okay.
I think so, something like that.
I can't remember. It's 30. That is correct. Yeah,
$30. It's fun.
I blew my survival load on Mojang's Minecraft back in the day.
I blew mine on Rust.
Yeah. I overdid it. I flew too close to the sun, man.
Yeah, see, we were talking about this because I overdo nothing, because I literally will just stop playing and go play a different type of game, and then when I feel like playing survival again, I will. So I get my survival kick from Don't Starve Together. I play all the time. I play that at least once a week, and that's a really hard survival game. So I love survival, and Palworld is like just goofy enough to be like, it's survival light. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's so funny because there's a thing I follow on Twitter, this survival game site, survival game account that I follow, and they posted a thing that somebody reviewed the game and said like heavy survival aspects. And I'm like, heavy survival aspects? You get cold, you get hot, you have to eat. What do you mean? It does not have heavy survival aspects. Like, so we were laughing and we were like, man, let them go play Green Hell and see what they say about Palworld, where Green Hell, if you fall asleep on the ground, you end up with a worm in your arm and you have to go fishing and take the bone and get the worm out of your skin and then put maggots on it and put a leaf on it. Like, Palworld is not heavy survival. It's literally like, don't get hot, don't get cold, make sure you eat food and take care of your pets. That's it. But yeah, it's silly and fun. It's like a no-brain game for me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a no thinker. So
there's been a lot of survival games popping out of the woodwork lately.
Yeah, there have.
It is a very popular genre that
there always will be. Survival games will always be popping out of the woodwork. They really will. Yeah. I played another game, also received this from the developer publisher Dillo Interactive. I got My Little Blood Cult, which I thought was aptly named because, hello, my community is called the Cult Family. And it was okay. It's definitely an off-stream game for me. You literally fish for demons. You're fishing for demons.
Yep.
And you're using aspects of one demon to try and get a bigger demon. And it's a cute game. It has the stylization of Cult of the Lamb. And it's cool. It's very slow.
It looks like and I don't mean this in a negative way, although it's going to come off that way. It looks like it's a mobile game.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
wonder if it
I
is.
could see that. I would if I had I'm supposed to get my Switch back, but this is a game that I would get on Switch and like just lay in bed and fish for demons. Like it's like a super chill, like relaxed can be game.
Yes,
And then
it is on mobile, and I feel like that would be
okay.
the perfect place for that game.
Yeah, it would be. It really would be. Like I would be down to I would download that on my tablet and sit there and play on my tablet and just chill.
Yep.
Yeah, but I want to like that for me. That's a spreadsheet game because I want to know what gets what demon and all that stuff. And I'm a total slut for spreadsheets. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's reviewed very well on Google Play. It's like 4.7 after over almost 600 reviews. So
cool. Yeah, it's a pretty cool game. Yeah, it was relaxing. And then finally, guys, I know my list is so long. I'm so sorry, but it's been 2 weeks. I started playing. One of my community members strong-armed me and also paid me $10 to play Professor Layton and the Curious Village.
$10 is all it takes?
Depends on what it is. I mean, look, League of Legends, there's a champion I absolutely hated, and somebody paid me $100 and dared me to get her to Mastery 7 for $100. So I did it. That cost a lot of money because I hated her. However, I was like, I'll do Professor Layton and Curious Village for $10. And it is really fun. Although what I don't like is I ended up getting a notice from Twitch like, hey, your VODs have a lot of copyrighted music on it. So every single puzzle song is copyrighted. So I have to like, yeah, next time I'm going to turn the music off and just put on some like Celeste in the background or something and play it. But it's a lot of fun, lots of puzzles. I mean, the entire thing is puzzles. And some of them are like, I thought one of them was math, but it was like really common sense. And I was like sitting here with a piece of paper and I literally said, where's Mike when I need him? Right. And I sat there with this piece of paper and there was no math involved. It was literally just common sense. And then once I figured it out, I was like, I'm an asshole. But it's fun. It's a really stupid mobile game. And I definitely recommend it. And there's a whole series of them. And I've been having fun. And Layton is like this handsome British dude who does these puzzles. And so at one point, the first time I failed a puzzle, I was like, no, I'm sorry, Daddy Layton. And that was it. It's Daddy Layton from there on. So it's it's been a lot of fun. That has been a really, really good time playing Professor Layton.
What would it take besides providing you the game key?
Okay.
To get you to do a full playthrough of the Walking Dead Destinies on stream.
Oh,
on stream.
God, one stream. How long is the game?
No, on stream.
Oh, on stream.
Because I have to watch it and all the pain.
Why?
So
let me watch your numbers tank. That game is $50.
So again, providing you the game key, that's out of the equation. What would it take?
Is it really that bad?
What would it take?
It is that bad.
You'll have to think on that. What would it take? And you tell me.
Okay.
And I might make it happen because for the sake of my amusement.
Okay.
That's pretty impressive. And now I have a gauge. I know it's $10 for a little mobile game, and it's only $100 to grind through a character you hate in a MOBA. So I know I'm somewhere. I'm not on the extreme.
Not on the extreme
of $100, but I'm definitely not at 10. So
yeah. Let me look at some gameplay. Let me look at some gameplay.
Who was the lead character that you didn't want to play?
Don't look at the gameplay. Do whatever you do.
Yeah, don't. It'll ruin it.
Really?
Whatever you do, do not.
It will ruin it.
Don't look at the gameplay.
Don't look.
All right, then I'm gonna give you an amount. You ready? You ready?
Yes.
Since it's supposed to be that bad, I'm gonna say game key and $25.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's done. That is done.
And I will not look at any gameplay.
That is done. I want at least one stream a week because
Oh no, yeah, I was gonna say. I thought you were gonna say just one stream, and I was gonna say no. I'm gonna stream the whole entire thing. But yeah,
we'll do the whole thing. Yeah, but
how long is it to beat? You know,
it's got to be short. I mean, this is such a piece of shit.
It's got to be a 4 or 5 hour game. Yeah, it's got to be.
Walking Dead Destinies Time to Beat. Let's see, how long? 8 hours.
5 hours.
5.5.
5.5 hours.
So
between all my laughing and everybody losing their shit, I'm gonna say that's probably 3 streams because we're gonna be laughing so hard.
Perfect. I will make that one happen.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Johnny.
Yeah.
You've been a busy boy. Why don't you tell us about what you've been playing?
Number one, we have Remnant 2. So I'd already touched on this a little bit. I played maybe 4 or 5 hours of the first one, and it never really caught my attention. And at the moment I fired up Remnant 2, I like couldn't stop playing it. I was completely hooked on it. I played basically the entire game single player. I didn't do any of the co-op shit at all. I just played through the campaign. Some of the tightest shooter gameplay that I've played in years. Just razor tight. And the class that I played, so I played a hunter, and with hunters, your ult cooldown, at least your main one that you start with, makes the enemies glow, and you can see them through walls. So and I had a single fire rifle, so I was very good at just headshot, 3 are down, turn the corner, headshot, gone. The boss fights are fun. The dodge mechanics feel nice. The progression through it and leveling up and upgrading your weapons and shit like that was really cool. But it all really came together once I figured out I was streaming the game, and somebody came in and were like, "You're high enough level that you can do your multi-class." And I was like, I didn't know that multi-class was a thing. And they're like, yeah, you can totally multi-class. I'm like, okay, so if I have a hunter, what should I do for the second class? And at this point, that person in the stream had been watching me for a little bit and kind of seeing the style of shooting that I was doing. And they're like, oh, you need a handler. And so a handler is where you now have a doggo with you, and the doggo pulls fucking aggro and keeps shit off of you, so that I can stand back there with my rifle and continue to murk the fuck out of everything. As soon as I got Doggo, me and Doggo coasted right on through that game. The final boss was a headache. It took me a session and a half to get him down. He was fucking really hard.
I wish I would have seen that. I wish I was there for it, because it was so fun watching you play when I was there.
So now here's what sucks about the final boss. And I'm no spoiler or anything story-wise, but it's one of those bosses where after like your 4th or 5th attempt, you get through phase 1 every time, no issue, no damage. Then you get to phase 2 and you're dead in 20 fucking seconds. And then you start again and you get through phase 1. You're like, oh, cool. I didn't even take a hit that time. Dead in 20 seconds. I mean, the second phase in that fight is a bitch. One of my favorite things about this game, and this is one of the things that I think they did really, really well, is that a lot of these boss fights felt challenging. I felt like, I had to keep pushing to get there. But once I finally got there, like most good video games, it had reached a point where I knew the fight so well that even though it had taken me, 10 times to kill that boss, if I'd gone back in, I could probably do it in one try.
I look over and he got me the goddamn key to the game.
Oh my gosh.
Just
I was like, what is
that,
going
I got
on?
this
Something
goddamn
happened
key.
over there.
I have to say, let me just chime in real quick. So one of the nights that I got to go and watch Johnny, I was up way too late. Like, I should have already been in bed, but I couldn't stop watching. So I'm sitting here and I'm like crocheting, right? Johnny was trying to get through this part with these fucking traps.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was a bitch.
And it was amazing. But when he finally got through, it was like this like victorious moment. And we were like, yes, he got through and then died. And he was like, no. But thankfully the traps had like not reset. But
yeah, it checkpointed me as to getting past that.
Did you get to hear him yell,
hard.
fuck your mother? That's when you've gotten the full experience with Johnny.
No, the full experience is, are you shitting my dick? That's my favorite. That's my favorite. That's when I'm really fucking upset, is when I say that.
It was fun. It was fun to watch.
But so as far as a game with replay value, I feel like they nailed the, yes, this is a Souls-like shooter. That's what it is. But they did a really good job with it kind of has that symmetry with Diablo, where the levels feel like dungeons, and they're very well crafted, they're very tight, and that I would happily go back with a couple of my buddies and go play back through these levels with, higher weaponry and better shit. And like, dude, this game is on Game Pass. Don't pass it up. Even if you played the first one and didn't think much of it, I'm going to give Remnant 2 an 8.5. I thought it was a motherfucker of a game. I really, really liked it a lot. In fact, I liked it so much, I went back to Steam, reinstalled Remnant 1, and then went on Humble is having a sale right now. I went and bought both DLCs for Remnant 1. So I think I'm going to go and blast through all, because as soon as I wrote credits, I'm like, I need another game like this.
Remnant 2, I'll tell you what, it was beautiful. Like watching you play, you remember I came in and I was like, how is this game so beautiful?
It's gorgeous.
And you were saying it's just butter smooth.
It's stupid
amazing.
smooth. No, it's optimized really well on PC. It's a very, very tight shooter. And I mean, again, I played the entire game single player. I mean, I had public open and on a couple times, and occasionally somebody would pop in and like join me for whatever, 5, 10, 20 minutes, whatever. But I really didn't have any major gripes. I wasn't super emotionally involved in the story, but otherwise, like, the gameplay is really good. And especially if you have a buddy or a partner that you like to play co-op games with, I mean, man, especially with this being on Game Pass, fucking slam dunk all day. This game is a blast. So yeah, I loved Remnant 2. The next game I beat, this one came completely by surprise. A buddy of mine had messaged me and said, hey, I'm finally checking out Sea of Stars after my recommendation and giving it a 10 last year. And then I started doing some Googling, because I as soon as he started talking about it, I got nostalgic on the game. And I was like, didn't they make another game? I think I have their other game. And I went and I Googled it, and the same developer from Sea of Stars made a game called The Messenger. And anybody that's seen the trailer for this game will recognize immediately what this is a love letter to. This is a love letter to all of the classic NES games. The classic NES Ninja games, the Shinobis, the Ninja Turtles, all of that. Okay,
so excited to get new Shinobi.
Yeah, no, me too. The Messenger is one of the single greatest platforming games that I've ever played in my entire life. This game took over my life for like 4 days. I couldn't stop playing it. I was a couple hours into it, and it's like, oh, you want to open that chest? You have to open 50 power seals. And the power seals are hidden throughout the maps, and every one of them is like a challenge room that you have to get through to get it. And I was like, I'm not getting all 50 fucking power seals. That's not going to happen. But the game feels very linear, and it's very much like a Shinobi game, right? It's like level 3, you get through it, you fight a boss, cool. Level 4, you get through it, you fight a boss. Level 5, you get... And then there is a huge paradigm shift, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but this game pulls a little bit of an Inscription. You think you're playing one kind of game, and it goes, oh, no. This is actually a Metroidvania. Here's your fucking map. Now you can go back through all of the other shit. The rules have changed, and now it's like this instead. And then I got so sucked into this game, I was like, I have to get every fucking power seal. I gotta do everything.
I'm literally watching some gameplay as you're talking, and it looks really cool.
Okay, so and here's the other thing. This is like, I even played all the DLC. Like I put like 12 hours into this game. If you ever have like lost your life in a Donkey Kong Country game, or any of those old school platformer, the side scrollers where you're like, I gotta get every banana, I gotta get every star, I have to do all of this. The gameplay in this game is so fucking tight. The story is serviceable, and that's the only reason why I didn't give this game a 10. For like the first 3-4 days after I played it, I'm like, this is a 10. It's a perfect game. It's a masterpiece. Holy fuck. The only reason why I'm not giving this game a 10 is because the story is okay. It's not great. There's a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff. There's a lot of great humor in the game. But overall, I'm going to give The Messenger a 9.7. And another little bonus to this game, it takes place within the same universe of Sea of Stars. So there are little connections I started picking up throughout it. So although the graphic style is completely different, there are little connections, and I started recognizing locales and enemies and shit. I was like, wait, I fought a boss that looked like this in Sea of Stars. So there's some stuff there. But dude, do not sleep on this game. If you like old school retro games, this is one of the best indie / retro games that I've played in a very, very long time. Dude, these guys are at the top of my list now. After playing Sea of Stars and The Messenger, I will simp for them till the end of time. They know how to make a fucking video game. The next game I beat, so I told y'all I signed up for Ubisoft Connect because I wanted to play Avatar on the PC. I also want to play Assassin's Creed Mirage, so I installed both of those on the hard drive. And then while I was looking around at the Ubisoft game catalog, and I'm scrolling through the franchises, and I'm going through the premium, and I'm like, wait a minute, Prince of Persia, and I go in there, and oh sweet, Lost Crown, let's install that. And then it's like, what about Prince of Persia: Sands of Time? What about Prince of Persia: The Warrior Within? What about, and I'm going, oh God, install. I just said, fuck it. Then I started Googling time to beat. How long does it take to beat Sands of Time? Oh shit, it's like 5 hours? I gotta do that. And then how long is Warrior Within? Oh Jesus, that's like 7 hours. So all of these Prince of Persia games are like 5 hours, 7 hours,
They're
8
quick.
hours, 10 hours.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna play through fucking all of them because they're that short. It's like
They're
binging a
also
show.
amazing.
Why not?
They're also amazing.
So yeah, so once I decided that I
So
was going to
sick.
do that, that's awesome. Once I decided that I was going to do that, I then went, well, what order should I play them in? And I did a little Googling and I did a little reading, and the first chronological story within the Prince of Persia universe is the reboot. The 2008 Prince of Persia with the cel-shaded graphics is technically the first. That is where the story begins, is in that Prince of Persia game. And so I look it up, and it's like 7 hours to beat, hours to beat. I was like, done. Fired it up. One of the things that I did not remember from this game, this is Nolan North is the main character. Nathan Drake himself is the main voice actor in this game. And what's funny is I went and I looked at his IMDb because I was like, I didn't remember Nolan North doing this game. It's because Nolan North was almost a nobody at this point. When I went back through his IMDb, it was a whole lot of, I mean, dude, he'd been in like 80 games, but all of them was like bit character and like gas station attendant and shit. And then he did Uncharted, and then he did Prince of Persia. So this was like his second big title. And the interplay between him and Elika, the female character that's with him, is very cool. The story is really cool. The ending took a twist that I did not see coming. But I would say that this game is surprisingly ahead of its time, considering that it came out in 2008. The climbing / parkour in this game is very tight. Very, very tight. Some of the best that I've played, and the game sort of functions as like a Metroidvania. There is a lot of backtracking. Because basically the story is we got to get rid of this corruption, and the corruption is in all these fucking zones. So you have to get to the center of the thing and heal it. And then once you heal it, you have to get all these little glowing orbs to level up her powers. So you have to finish the whole area and then basically backtrack through that whole area to get all these orbs. My main complaint with this game, the combat feels like we all remember the era of quick action where it's like, press the A button, press the B button. You need to do this. Now press the Y button. There's a lot of that in this game. So the combat is very, very repetitive. Once you get the feel for how to parry and which combo does the most damage, you will do the same fucking things over and over and over again. That's downside number one. Downside number two is the backtracking to get the orbs. It eventually reaches a point where it's like, cool, you have 320. Now you have to get 540. Let me tell you a story. So I decided one night before stream that I was going to fucking farm these orbs and get to 540, and then I was going to save my game, and then I was going to fire up stream and play some Marvel Snap. So I run around this fucking map, and I go to 8 different zones, and I get to 540, and I go, all right, cool. And I go back to the temple, and I go to get my power, and the motherfucking game crashes. And it didn't save any of the orbs.
You must have lost your shit.
It was, and the thing is, it wasn't like I had to repeat like a fun part of the game. I had to repeat the only part of the game that I hadn't enjoyed. I had to do fucking again. So anyway, I'm going to give Prince of Persia 2008. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I would say, honestly, at the time when this came out, This was probably a solid 8, 8.5. It holds up very well for
Dude,
how old it
look,
is.
so sign of the time. Look at the boss for fucking Warrior Within.
That's awesome.
Yeah, back when titties were everywhere in video games.
Hell yeah.
That was all anyone knew for marketing for like 8 years was, well, how big are her boobs? That's all they did.
I mean, Soul Calibur.
You listen to me. If there's not a set of tits on that box, we're not moving any fucking unit.
Yeah, I was like,
get some titties on there.
Sands of Time was all like bright and friendly and like cool, and then they're like,
boobies.
He needs to be pissed and red.
Yeah.
And
he's angry, and there's boobies.
Who wears that? How is that even staying on?
Yeah, how is that armor?
That's quite literally Soul Calibur.
Yeah. How is that even staying?
That's very
every
true.
bit of Soul Calibur armor. It's like how
the music in Warrior Within is dope though.
Yes, it is. So Prince of Persia, the first one in the chronological story, is completed. I give it a 7 out of 10. Nolan North's performance is great, and we all know that he's had an amazing career ever since.
Always, yeah.
He's really charming and funny, and you really do grow attached to that character. And the ending was very surprising. It was not like most games end, so I was really kind of impressed by that. Moving on, I also have put about 2 or 3 hours into Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and holy fuck, this is a polished fucking Metroidvania.
So good.
I mean, this is Metroid Dread polished. This is very, very, very tight. The presentation, I mean, this feels like Metroid Dread happened, and someone at Ubisoft went, see, we could do this. We could do a side-scrolling, tight as fuck Metroidvania and just polish the shit out of it, make it AAA, and we'll move some units. And I will tell you, this game is fucking awesome. I am really, really, really impressed. I think this game is going to be a 9-something. I think it's going to be in Game of the Year conversations. This is a very, very, very tight Metroidvania. So I haven't gotten far enough to really comment beyond that, other than I was so impressed with it that I went, maybe I want to play through all the other ones and then do. And that's where I'm at. Is like, I was like, fuck, I think I need to go back and, because I don't think I've rolled credits on any of them. And I mean, like, I've played some Sands of Time. I've played some Warrior Within. I've played fucking almost all of these games. I don't think I've beaten any of them.
I've rolled credits on all of the Prince of Persia games. And one of the funniest things ever is there's an enemy, right? There's a thing called Dahaka, right? For anybody who's played Prince of Persia, you know Dahaka. And my daughter has always loved watching me play games. But she's not a gamer herself, although she is getting into Baldur's Gate. So she was watching me play Prince of Persia, and she was terrified of Dahaka. So one day I heard her getting up in her room. I heard her getting up, and she was like running to the door. So I hid in the closet, and she went to go walk past it. I grabbed her leg, and I went, Dahaka! And I didn't know she was on her way to the bathroom, and she peed her pants. And she got so mad at me. We still laugh about it to this day. I'll call her and she'll be like, hey mom, what's up? And I'm like, Dahaka. She's like, fuck you. Oh my God, it was great.
That's awesome.
She was like, I peed my pants. It was so funny.
Awesome.
So yeah,
it's my favorite Prince of Persia story.
That's awesome. I'm not far into the Lost Crown to really say much beyond. I am incredibly impressed with the amount of polish here. It is very, very tight and very well thought out, and the combat's a lot of fun. The parry system is
for
fun.
Sure. I agree.
I think I'm going to be really impressed with this. But yeah, so far I'm very, very tweaked in. Next up, Immortals of Aveum. Mike and I have been saying that this game got left in the dust last year, and how much of a shame it was. And I'm so far 2 hours into this game, I'm really not too impressed. It feels very samey. It feels very, man, this is going to hurt some feelings, but Forspoken, but first person shooter.
I don't know. 2 hours is kind of.
I know. Don't worry. I'm not hanging up. All I'm saying is that
anything like that.
All I'm saying is this: the trailer sold me on AAA polish. You're gonna shit your pants when you see how amazing this game.
Let me
looks.
interject one thing, and I'll throw it right back to you. Okay.
Sure.
It was a while for me with Spider-Man 2 before things got moving, and I was like, okay, I can see, I can see what's good. So I mean, I can't dog on anything that I've only been in for.
But you know if something's not polished or not when you were expecting it to be polished.
I was expecting something shiny, and so far it looks a bit like a polished turd. It's not the fit and finish is not what I expected. This doesn't. I heard Unreal 5 and I got my hopes up. And the moment I got in and I started seeing the textures up close and the character models, and I'm like, I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look great. You know, I wanted this to be a step up from Forspoken, and it is not. Graphically, it's not. So far the gameplay is here's your blue arm that functions like a rifle, here's your red arm that functions like a shotgun, and here's your green arm that functions like a machine gun. And so far that is my gameplay. So I'm not like really, I thought I was going to feel like I'm a fucking super wizard doing all these super cool spells, and so far it's like, oh, this is the shotgun. So I came in with really high hopes, and like so far, again, I'm not far enough into it to give any kind of review score or anything, but my first initial impressions are not great.
I mean, calling it dog shit basically is saying a lot. So I would just say
polished though.
Be careful with criticism when you're early on in something, right?
That's fair.
Because
is this their only game? The devs' only game?
Yeah, they're an indie.
Just kind of where I'm going with that train of thought is we need new IPs, right? I'm tired of seeing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever of the same shit over and over again. So it's like, especially when I'm dealing with a new IP, especially when it's a dev that I'm not super familiar with, I think you either need to complete, or depending on how long the game is, at least get like 5 to 10 hours into it before you really have a taste of what's happening. Because I mean, even with a game from Insomniac, you know, the beginning of Spider-Man 2, which is like just recency, the most recent thing I dealt with that was like this, was painfully slow and mundane. And it's so easy for me to forget all that part. Now that I've completed the game, you know, I platinumed it. And I don't think about, you know, walking around the carnival and riding bicycles for an hour.
Right.
Anymore.
Yeah.
So.
No, I know, but to play a game for 2 hours and not really have anything positive to say about it is not a great start.
Okay.
That's where I'm at, dude. Like, the gunplay wasn't fun. I have not enjoyed playing the game.
I'm gonna throw something. I'm gonna throw something out here. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
People can have different opinions about games.
Yeah, absolutely.
The
reason why I say anything is because we're not just talking in a bubble, right?
True.
And I wouldn't want someone, again, new IP, something that a lot of people missed. Johnny is Mr. Hot Take with his feelings on a lot of games.
Very true. Very true, yep.
Is very quick and heavy-handed with negative comments. And I just have to chime in sometimes and remind people of that. You know, because even when Johnny's talking about a game that he likes sometimes, it sounds like he fucking hates it.
Ori?
Final Fantasy 16.
Final Fantasy 16.
Put 100 hours
every week Johnny came on the show. It was just him shitting on it the entire time. He's like,
the minute he said Final Fantasy 16, we were like, oh,
I'm having a lot of fun with this, and now I'm going to shit on it for 10 minutes. So, like, I just want to say grain of salt. Maybe that's something to try and be a little more conscious of. But when we're dealing with a game like this, that it's on my list. I think a lot of people missed it. The reviews that I've seen for the game are good. So I'm telling the audience that I'm not putting a lot of weight on Johnny playing something for 2 hours and then coming on here and dogging it.
It is mostly positive on Steam. It has a lot of
opinion.
Really
I'm not saying
reviews.
his opinion is wrong because I don't even know. I haven't played the game yet. Well, but I am just trying to put an asterisk because you're being kind of heavy-handed with the comments.
I fully agree with what you're saying. You should not put much investment in my comments at all. I'm only 2 hours in. The next time I play it, I might have an aha moment and be like, okay, now this is awesome. But yeah, my first session.
I don't want to be the Immortals White Knight, but like if you came back and said, I've put 10 hours into this and I feel about this game, Mike, the same way that you feel about Tunic.
Right.
Then
wait, you didn't like Tunic?
Hate that
he fucking
game.
hated Tunic.
I never played it. I never played it.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
You loved it. He hated it.
But I did beat it, so I earned my right to be able to call it the biggest pile of shit I played that year, which is what I called it. I totally hated that game, but I still had some good things to say about it. Like I love the art style. I like the little fox. That's what drew me in. But like with that game, it was like, dude, everything gameplay just not speak to me. So, and perfect example of having differing opinions. But yeah, I mean, with Immortals, I do want to give it a shot, but I want to make sure it gets a fair shake because I don't feel like that game's been given a fair shake so far. That dev house has already been ripped apart because of its poor timing. A lot of people put a lot of work into that and then lost their jobs just because they didn't market it correctly, which I feel kind of bad about. But, at the end of the day, if it's a pile of shit, it's a pile of shit. But if it's not...
I mean, people on Steam don't seem to think it's a pile of shit. They have a demo. I'm going to download it.
Most of the comments about the game have been very positive, and, the overall sentiment is this is one that kind of slipped through the cracks. So yeah, no, I'm curious to check it out, and I am going to give them a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, but yeah, ultimately, once one of us gets through it and it's like, you kind of have the full picture. I think that's the time to kind of open up.
I will say most of the stuff I'm reading is at the 4X series of graphics cards. The game's not working with them.
Got it.
That's what I'm learning.
And for me, it's going to be a PS5 thing. As usual, just because I like sitting my ass on the couch.
I mean, I'm scrolling through Metacritic, and this is one of those games that runs the full gamut from somebody giving it 100 to somebody giving it a 40.
Well, and you always have to. Metacritic's kind of again one of those things where you have to put a huge asterisk next to it because.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Who are these people?
Agreed.
Because you'll have slant at the top from immortalsfanboy.com. 10 out of 10.
But no, I mean, I'm going to keep playing it. I'm not saying I'm not going to. I just, my first session didn't go great. That's all.
Fair enough. I'm going to keep this week's episode just games. I don't think we're kind of late to the bus with some things, and you know what? It kind of felt good just to talk in depth about what we were playing. Maybe I'll take some future inspiration from that. That actually felt very nice. We'll have to see how all you scallywags out there react to that. But yeah, we're gonna leave it there. Johnny, we just heard from you for a bit. So Kim, any closing thoughts this week? Any last thing you want to touch on?
I have very exciting closing thoughts. Skull and Bones is having an open beta.
Nice.
I am so excited for Skull and Bones. Not just because I'm a creator for Skull and Bones, but because I am genuinely excited for Skull and Bones. It's a pirate game, Ubisoft. It's basically, I don't want to put it this way, but it's basically like if you liked Black Flag, you're gonna like Skull and Bones. There's a lot of like mercantilism involved in it, which I'm very excited for. Like we're like role playing this out. Like I have a contract I'm gonna be giving people who are gonna protect me while I do the mercantile stuff, and it's a really cool game. I really love the last beta. So the open beta is coming up beginning of February. You can find all their stuff on Twitter and everything. As a creator, I will be giving drops. For like during the open beta, I will be having drops on my stream. And I am so freaking excited because then the game comes out soon after that. And I literally cannot wait. This is like one of my most anticipated games. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, it looks good. The way that I've heard it best described is if the ship combat from Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Sea of Thieves had a baby, where you play, instead of a pirate, you play as the ship, then that's pretty much where this lands, which is cool. I mean, I watched you play it when early access was out, and I'm not knocking this thing. I actually think it looks decent, and people have been very reactive and harsh on it. The collective people I'm gonna hand slap, just kind of like I did my bro here on Immortals, is don't be overreactive, and also think that games like this speak to audiences the other games didn't. Some people really love Sea of Thieves, and like that's all they fucking play, and a lot of the Sea of Thieves community is out there just dumping gas all over Skull and Bones on the internet.
It's so crazy to me because honestly, they're literally not similar at all. Like, they're not at all similar. They're quite literally two very, very different games. And so it's like wild to me that people are shitting all over and they're like, I want to be able to go onto the other ship and do hand-to-hand combat. And I'm like, well, then go play Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves has you covered.
It's terrible combat, but it's combat, and so it drives me crazy because it's like it's two different games. It's like complaining that you're playing, I don't know, Midnight Suns and you wanted guns. Like,
right.
It's like they're two different games. It's so wild to me. I guess because they're both pirates and they're both on the sea, and so people are like up in arms over it. But I love it. I'm very excited. Skull and Bones
speaks to me a little bit more because Sea of Thieves always kind of had a little bit of that diet survivalness to it, and I really don't like survival games. I look at the game and I think it looks wonderful. I mean, it has the best water I've ever fucking seen in a video game.
It's really beautiful and it runs really well, I have to say. Like, even my partner who was playing it has he has an AMD graphics card, but it's the equivalent of like a 3060, I think it is, and it was running great for him. It was running really, really well for him. So I'm very excited. Open beta is coming out, so everybody can give it a try before they decide whether they want to, invest in it.
The structured gameplay of Skull and Bones, and also just being able to control like the whole ship yourself. That being able to play more by yourself, that speaks to me. So very good, awesome. Johnny, any closing thoughts from you this week, sir?
Yeah, actually, this is something that I've wanted for a while, and I finally just pulled the trigger, and I just wanted to share the story because I think this is really funny.
Papa John's card?
No. After I did my research on it, so if you're not aware of these, the company dbrand has a product for the PlayStation 5 called Dark Plates. And what they are is it replaces the side panels on the PlayStation. And the main reason why I wanted them is because they have vents for the fans, and they have a filter on the vent so that it's going to allow better airflow through the console. And I saw even YouTubers doing unsponsored videos where they had infrared cameras and they showed that the PlayStation 5 will run almost 10 degrees less with these plates. And I've wanted them forever, but then I watched a YouTube video on the controversy of the cease and desist that happened from PlayStation. So if you look up the Dark Plates, they only sell the Dark Plates 2.0 now. And here's the difference between the Dark Plates 1 and the Dark Plates 2.0. This is fucking hilarious. So if you look at the inside part of the curvy plate on a PlayStation 5 really close, it has the X's and the circles and the squares and the triangles all over it, really, really small, just like on the controller. So when they did the dbrand Dark Plates, which don't have the big curly thing, they end right at the edge of the console. I think it's a cleaner look, which is why I like them. Their version of that, they did the same thing, but when you look really close, it's like there's a Skull and Bones is the X, and there's like a little television is the square, and something else is the so they did triangle, square, X, and whatever, and that was what Sony was able to cease and desist them on. They went, these are too similar. You've got your X's and we've got our X's, and cease and desist immediately. So this version, I get it, and I put it on the console, and I think it looks really nice. And I was like, well, I wonder, wait, there is a texture here. And I look really close, and it's all ones and zeros. Ones and zeros across the entire thing. So
it's all binary.
So I was like, it's got to be something. What little middle finger did they put on the inside? Do you want to know what's printed on the inside of the dbrand fucking Dark Plates 2.0? a full copy of the cease and desist letter that Sony sent them.
That's
letter
amazing.
for letter, the entire fucking email is what they printed on the back of the dark plate. It's
That's
like, here
amazing.
you go. Here's your fucking cease and desist, assholes. So yeah, the back is binary code of their cease and desist letter. But the thing I like about my dark plates, when you look at the colors that they offer, they have classic gray. It's old school PlayStation 1 gray. So I did that, and then I did the matte black centerpiece. So they have, D-Brand is known for like the cases that stick on like a sticker, basically. So they sell the whole faceplate all the way around the top, because I hate the shiny black plastic because it always shows fingerprints. It always looks like shit. So I got matte black to go over that part, and then I have the classic PlayStation gray, and they really, really look nice. And I've actually found, even though there's now holes in the side of the console actually runs quieter because the fans don't have to push as hard.
That makes sense. Yeah,
I'm very impressed. Although I still think they're incredibly expensive. I think it was like $60 or $70. And then in the purchase, they show you these light strips that change the default color of the PlayStation. Do not buy them. They're fucking stickers, and they're bullshit.
Oh,
they
okay.
literally, you just stick it on the LED, and then you look at it and you go, well, that doesn't look very good now, does it? I'm pretty unimpressed with the light strip, but the fucking the plate going, the sticker going across the middle, and the plates going on the sides, it looks really, really clean. I've never been a fan of the PlayStation 5 flare. I think it looks cheesy. It looks like a prop in a next generation fucking TV show. It's like a Star Trek prop. I don't know. I've never liked the flares. I think it's ugly as fuck. I've never liked it.
So my closing thought this week is a reminder to everyone out there, if you've been feeling a little bit of a lull this past month in the games being released, this is the week that Song of Nunu makes its way to consoles. So,
oh, nice.
The 31st of this month.
Highly recommend.
So, before we sit down and record next week, Song of Nunu, the League of Legends story, which is just the cutest, most fantastic looking game.
Riot Forge is closing down, by the way. So
it comes to PS5, Xbox, XS, and One, I believe, and PS4.
Nice.
I don't think it's coming to Switch. It might already be there, but
what a beautiful, fun little game.
I'm excited. I'm excited to chomp on it with.
I want to play it. I know you really liked it.
So, just a reminder. And then the wave comes next month. So if you need something that you can sneak in over the weekend, get on that Song of Nunu. Came very highly recommended.
Yeah.
We will, of course, be back again next week, barring none of us die.
Nah, we'll be here.
Don't say that. My God.
That's awful. God, don't say that. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
That's when Power Gamer Podcast goes viral, because I die in a tragic car accident. And Mike goes, well, here's how they signed off at the end of the last episode.
That's it. Mike starts getting investigated. For an episode on small town murder.
I'll just prop Johnny's corpse up in his chair like Weekend at Bernie's style. I'll get Thanos to like puppeteer his mouth, and
I approve, by the way. If he does that,
Thanos
do that
would
to my
totally
corpse.
do that.
Okay. I'm good with it.
I just asked that if you do that to me, just do my makeup first. Please.
We'll just dress up Hummus like you. We'll make a chem wig and put little.
Oh, kitty.
Hummus. Here's Hummus.
Put hummus in one of your shirts.
Aww.
And you could just sit there. Nobody will ever know. No one will. Just be business as usual.
Man, Kim needs to shave.
Until that time, I'm Mike Dawson.
And I'm Johnny Paulus.
And I am Kim. Haven't played it with Pixel Dicks this week yet. Ponticello.
Tune in next time. Take care.
Catch you on the flip flop.
Yeah.